Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin and today I'm doing something really fun. You guys probably have no idea what's going on, obviously, because I'm filming this. You haven't seen it, you haven't seen anything. But you are going to pick my TBR. In the past year and a half, I've had friends choose my TBR for me. I have given them prompts, I've given them the list of all of the books on my physical shelves, and I've just let them go at it and pick my TBR. I've had some hits. I've had more hits than misses, actually. And that's been really fun for me, but I thought, wouldn't it be more fun if I just let you guys, random strangers of the internet who have no idea what my tastes, well, I guess you have some idea what my tastes are like if you've watched my channel at all, but wouldn't that be fun if you guys chose my TBR? And so here we are. And so do I have prompts? Yes, but I'm not making these prompts up for myself. So you see, there is a site called Spin the Wheel app, and they have TBR prompts on it. And I love that for me. And so I'm gonna spin it. I'm gonna get 4 prompts. I'm gonna get 3 prompts, sorry. I'm gonna get 3 prompts. Then I'm gonna put it to vote to you guys. I'm gonna pick 2 books for each prompt, and then I'm gonna put it to a vote to you guys to see which one I should read. But here's the twist. I'm not gonna tell you what book it is. I'm not gonna tell you which book is chosen. But when you guys are picking which book you're gonna have me read, you won't know what book you're actually going to read. I'm gonna pick some emojis that kind of symbolize what the book is about, which means that I'm gonna have to read some synopsises, so that's crazy for me, because I don't know what a book is about. But when you guys see it, it'll just be some symbols, some emojis, and you can try to figure out what it is or not, but you will choose a book for me. And then I'll come back and I will tell you what books I will be reading for this TBR. I've got my TBR wheel ready for the prompts, and let's just go ahead and see what prompts they are, and then I'll show you what books are gonna go up for each prompt. So also, I did not choose these prompts, so some of them will probably not be applicable to me, and so I'll just spin again. And so for the first prompt, we have, oh, I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. A sea setting. Do I read books by the sea? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what the next prompt is. BookTube Rec. I feel like a lot of things I read are BookTube Recs, so I definitely have something for that. Okay, and my third and final prompt will be a classic. Wow, okay. This is a good one. Let's go on a little trip to my bookshelves. It's in disarray. It is a few days after Christmas. Everything is in disarray around here. I still have gifts up, the tree's up, but we're gonna ignore all of that so we can go find some books. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of books here, all of these options. And so we're just gonna go through them. I actually had to read the synopses of some of these because I just was not sure. And so for the first prompt that I had, which was a sea setting, I have The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Rothy and The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This one is about a woman who was cursed because all of the wives were jealous of her, and so she is cursed to live as a mermaid, and she's discovered by this this guy who's like fishing off of an island, which I assume she's a mermaid, so she can go out to the sea. So, sea setting. And then she is captured by American tourists, of course, because we're the worst. And so then David, the fisherman, is trying to like rescue her, but like, can she live on land? Will she be able to return back to her form? We don't know. And then this is House in the Cerulean Sea. We have a caseworker. I don't know his name. It's right, Linus. It's right there on the back. Linus is a caseworker, and he is given a new assignment to go manage an orphanage that is on the sea. And like, I guess the kids are like misfit magical kids. I hear it's a very heartwarming story. We shall find out together. Then for a booktube rec, I have Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zahner, which is about her memoir growing up with a Korean identity, grieving her mother. I think her mother has an illness, and she returns home, I think, to take care of her. And so like, pretty sure her mother passes away, and so I know that this deals a lot about grief, so I'm very interested to get to this one. And then I have Finley Donovan is Killing It by Elle Casimano, and this is about a writer who is talking about the plot of her newest novel, and she is overheard by someone who mistakes her for being a hit woman, and I'm sure a blunderous good time is going to be had. So these are going head to head. And then I had classics. Classics were a little difficult, but kind of not, because I had options. I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna read. But I have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and I know that this is about Catherine and Heathcliff, and they like love each other, but for some reason they're kept apart, and then Heathcliff goes on like a revenge spree of everyone who has kept him away from Catherine. And I love revenge, and you mix that in with some love, and I think that this is going to be a good time. And my other option is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, and this is about a woman who spends so extravagantly just to feel something, and I relate to that so hard. So hard. And these are the choices for classics. And then last but not least was my own pick. And for that, I am choosing Malice by John Gwynne. I really don't know. It's a fantasy. I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it is my intention to get to this series this year. I must. And then on the other side, we have another fantasy, which is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. Again, this is the last book in this trilogy, and I just need to get it over with. I cannot stand Fitz, poor soul. But I want to know what happens. I do. I don't know what happens in this one. It's the third book in a series, so I wouldn't say much anyway. But these are the two. I'm going to put all of these up on the Instagrams, on my community tab. What emojis I use for these, I'm not sure, but we're gonna figure it out. And I cannot wait to see what wins out. This is gonna be really interesting. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's gonna be something. Okay, the results are in. You have all voted. Thank you. I put this up on Instagram. I put this up on my community tab. And the people have spoken, even though you guys didn't know what you were speaking about. But I'm excited. So let's talk about what we're going to be reading. The first prompt that we had was a book with a sea setting. And the choices were The House in the Cerulean Sea and The Mermaid of Black Conch. And The Mermaid of Black Conch won out. I'm so surprised. I think it was the black mermaid emoji that made people go like, yeah, that one. Because I would also be curious. A black mermaid versus a house in the sea with some kids on it. Yeah. So we're going to be reading The Mermaid of Black Conch. Hopefully it has something to do with the sea. I mean, how can it not? She's a mermaid. She lives in the water on an island or by the island. Girl, I don't know. I haven't read the book. The second prompt was a booktube rec. which I had Finley Donovan is Killing It and Crying in H Mart. Honestly, I thought people would be really interested in knowing why somebody was crying in a 24-hour convenience store, but Finley Donovan is Killing It won out, probably because it had a knife. I would also pick the knife if we're going to be honest. So we will be reading that, and I had to choose a classic. I really didn't know what was going to win. I didn't even know what emojis to choose for that, but the choices were Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte and Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, and Madame Bovary won. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared. This is definitely way bigger than this, and so I'm just like, am I going to get bored? Because classics have a way of just being tedious and getting bogged down in details that I'm not interested in, and so we will find out. Also, this is about a housewife who is just bored, and I mean, I think some really messy things start to happen, but I gotta get to the messiness first, unless it starts from page 1, in which case sign me up. But I guess we'll find out. I had Malice versus Assassin's Quest. Now, both of these are big boys. Like, these are not small, tiny, quick fantasy books. Although nowadays, not many books are quick fantasy books. I was actually really hoping that this one would get picked. If I had a choice, even though these were both my own picks, I picked them for different reasons. Malice, I really want to get started on this series, and Assassin's Quest because I really want to finish this series. And what came up to be the winner was Assassin's Quest. I looked up the audio. I think it's like 37 hours. But for now, we are going to finish Assassin's Quest. Another book with poor, miserable, sad Fitz. I can't really say what's happening a whole lot because it's the last book in this series, in this trilogy. So just know that I will be spending time with poor old Fitz and all the people that hate him, which are my favorite people. Those are the characters I am concerned with. But yes, this is the stack. These are the books. This is what you have chosen as my people. And even though you had no idea what you were choosing, thank you. I'm very excited to read about this mermaid. I've heard mostly nothing but good things about Finley Donovan is Killing It. And I think it's like it's a lighter book, so it should be easier to read. Madame Bovary, I'm not even pointing that. Madame Bovary, I'm scared. Classics just intimidate me in general. And Assassin's Quest, my God, terrified because thick, could be very long and boring. Do not like Fitz. He's just so pitiful. He's maybe the most pitiful character I've ever read about. Like, Fitz, why is this your life? Robin really did you dirty. But yes, these are the books. I think I'm going to get started reading The Mermaid of Black Conch because right now I'm currently reading Theft of Swords, and I cannot do 2 fantasy books at the same time because I will be confusion. The plots will be all over the place. So that's where we're going. We're going to start with The Mermaid of Black Conch and then make our way through this TBR. Hello there. It's been a minute. And that is because I actually kind of forgot that I was vlogging. You see what had happened was that the weather has been gross and I haven't felt like doing anything. Not picking up a camera, not really reading, not doing a whole lot of anything. So yeah, I forgot to pick up the camera and update you guys on what I was reading. But I will do that right now because I care for you guys to know how my reading is, especially since you guys were the ones that chose my books. So let's talk about the things that I'm reading and stuff. Because that's what you do. That's what you do in a vlog, right? So I started off with Mermaid of Black Conch, but I have since finished this and I really liked it. I think I'm gonna give this like a 3.75. But basically this is about a mermaid who has been cursed she was a girl and then she was cursed to be a mermaid by jealous women in her village from like over thousands of years ago. And they were jealous of her because she was drawing the attention of all the men, which she didn't ask for. and the men would just like flock to her and want to marry her, or even if they were married already, they just wanted to be with her. And the other women were like, well, first we're going to run you out of this village, and actually now we're going to curse you to the sea. And so as a mermaid, she comes across like this dude on a boat, David, thousands of years later, and she strikes up a friendship with him. And one day she thinks she hears his boat, which she does, but like he's on the other side of the island, and she comes across these men who pull her out of the water and want nothing more except to exploit her and make a profit off of her, and they treat her terribly. And David actually goes and saves her from, she's like being hung upside down or something, while men come by and taunt her and poke at her, and David saves her and brings her back to his home, tries to nurse her to health. And as he's like nursing her, she starts to shed her mermaid skin and come back to being the woman that she was. They started having this friendship. They start to fall in love. David was always in love with her. But the problem is she doesn't feel quite like she's home in this skin, in this place with David. And so things also start to take a turn on the island. And she's like, I think I need to return to the sea. I think I need to go back, because that is where I feel the most comfortable. Even though I'm very lonely there, I am comfortable in my loneliness. Whereas here, everything is too shiny, it's too brand new, and I don't know what's going on. And then there is still the jealousy of the women. They are never going to let me just live happily. And she makes some friends, she makes some enemies. And ultimately, it's just like, do you decide to stay in something that's new and unfamiliar and hope that things turn out for the best? Or do you return to what you know? And even if that means you're going to be a little lonely for who knows how long. It was actually very sad, but like really beautiful at the same time. I liked it. And then I started on Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. And she is so big and long, and it's just going on for so long. This is the serious definition of a travel book, because all Fitz is doing is traveling, trying to get to his king. And man, he's going through it. I feel like, I can't say too much because it's the last book, but I feel like there are people that are just always one step ahead of him. And I feel like actually everyone around Fitz knows way more than Fitz knows. And I'm just like, why can't y'all just tell this man what's going on, what you suspect, what you think is probably going to happen, so that he has some kind of inclination of what to expect? I don't know, it could be helpful. But where I am, I think I'm about 60% of the way in, which means, I don't know what that means. It means that I'm 60% of the way in. But I will say that I like this one the most out of all three I've read. So I think I gave Assassin's Apprentice like 3 stars, 3.2. And I gave Royal Assassin a little higher than that. But this one, I could see myself giving it a 4. For some reason, I'm feeling more in tune with Fitz. I can't quite relate, because I don't think anybody can quite relate to being that pitiful. But I can just like feel for him, and I like understand him a little bit better. And I don't know, I'm hoping that this ends with some kind of peace or happiness for Fitz, because it's been a long journey. He's had a terrible time. Terrible. And I also feel like everyone in this book is just suffering a little bit more than they were in the other books. Like, up until this point, everyone was just kind of having a merry old time, except for Fitz. And this one, nobody's having a good time. Everybody is upsetty spaghetti. Maybe that's why I like it more. I don't know, but I am liking this a lot more. I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple of days, because it's just been so long. They just keep traveling, and I am not necessarily the biggest fan of a travel novel. Like, I just want us to get to our destination and do what we gotta do. But oh my gosh, I also started Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, and I'm about maybe 30% of the way in, and it's messy. Do you guys see my shovel handle here? From all the snow that I've had to shovel? Like, it's too much. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I started it and it is messy. I love a good messy classic, one that just really tells you how messy the people are. I think, what is that book by Edith Wharton? The House of something. House of something. But I liked it because that character is super messy. But in this one, we have this guy, he's a doctor. He has a first wife, and him and his wife are just living out in the countryside, him being the doctor. But for some reason, I guess she's like the perfect wife, but there's no chemistry between them. They were just matched because he's a doctor, he needed a wife of good standing, and she was it. And he would just go off and continue to drink, smoke, just be out philandering. The wife was like, I'm tired with the shits. I don't like this. And y'all, she died. Like, I think one day she was just like, I'm tired of it, and died. Like, girl, what? Because one of his patients, her name is Emma, he has fallen in love with Emma, and he thinks that his wife doesn't know, but she knows. I think she dies of a broken heart. So Shar waits for the appropriate amount of time before he starts to court Emma and then marries her. Emma's like, I'm on the come up. I just bagged me a doctor. And that's great at first. But I think Emma thought she was gonna have a much more fun time than she's having. And so now she is bored out of her mind being the provincial doctor's wife and having not a whole lot to do, because I mean, what else is there to do? Take care of your kid, take care of your home, wait until your husband gets home. But Shar is in love with Emma, hands down. He doesn't even know that she's unhappy. And Emma is just out here, I am so bored. And she's like, I'm gonna find somebody to entertain me. And that's where we are. And I just feel like things are gonna go downhill. And I can't wait to see what comes of all of this messiness. I think the guy that she's falling for, his name is Leon, and I don't know if Leon is just like flirting with her just to flirt with her, or if he's flirting with her because he likes her. Messiness. Is she gonna leave Shar? Is she gonna run off with Leon? What is going on? Messiness at its finest. And I will say that we have not been bogged down with details, which is always one of my problems when I read classics. But this, we have not done that. We've just gone from like plot point to plot point to plot point. Some in the middle to, make sure that we understand how Emma's feeling about Leon and how she's kind of over, what's that man's name? Shar. Even I'm bored of Shar. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun time. I don't know that this is gonna be like a super highly rated. House of Mirth. I had to say that right now because it popped into my head. That is the Edith Wharton book. This is so chaotic of an update. House of Mirth is the Edith Wharton book that was messy. Madame Bovary, also messy. I don't know what my last thought was before I thought of House of Mirth, but it doesn't matter now. That's where we are. That's the update. I plan on being better with my updates. I'm hoping, like I said, to finish Assassin's Quest in the next couple of days. Also Madame Bovary in the next couple of days. And then I can go on to Finley Donovan is Killing It, which should take no time at all. So far, you guys have picked some really good books. I'm so proud of you. Pat yourself on the back. You did a good job so far. Now, I could end up hating all three of the things that I have left, but so far you guys are doing great. You're doing amazing, sweetie. I will see you in the next clip with another update. It's me, I'm back. Guess what? I finished Assassin's Quest. I feel like it's been 700 fortnights, but I finished. It always takes me like a day to really settle on what I want to rate a book. But like right now in this moment, I'm going to give this a 4, which is saying a lot because I did not start this series off strong. But here we are at a 4. I was satisfied with the end. People got their comeuppance. There were dragons. It made me feel things. I wish I could say more. I wish I could just tell you everything that happened. But what I will say is, y'all gotta stop talking in riddles and just tell Fitz what's going on. Like, come on, for God's sake, please. Just tell that man what's happening, and then he might be okay. He might be down with the shits. Just give him the option. Let him know. But that's neither here nor there. I finished. 4 stars. Definitely going to read other books in the realm of the Elderlings. I want to read, what's the next one? Live Ship Traders? Ship of Magic. Ship of Magic. So I do want to read that. I think I'm gonna buddy read that with Jess. I don't know. But I might start without her and then just pretend that we're buddy reading it. I don't know. I feel like I just want to continue right now. That's how I feel about it. But I'm not. One, because I have other things I need to read. And two, I don't have Ship of Magic. It's a long wait from my library. And I guess it is on Scribd. I'm going to call it Scribd. It's Mama named it Scribd, and that's what I'm going to call it. And so I could just listen to it. But like I said, I have other things that I need to get to. One of which is Finley Donovan is Killing It. I actually think I'm going to start reading that now because it is a slower work day and it is about lunchtime, so it's time for that break. So I think I'm going to get started on reading that. Or I guess I could read Madame Bovary. But I'm also listening to that, so maybe I'll just continue listening to that on the audio. I don't know. What should I do? I wish you guys could tell me, but you guys can't because by the time you see this, I will have finished it, hopefully. And you guys can't tell me what to do in this moment. Why? Why can't you? But that's where we are. I wanted to give you guys a little update since I'm remembering to update now. And I would give you some B-roll, but there is none. There's nothing to do. It's cold. It's January. I'm inside laying on my couch. This is where I'm going to be for like the next 6 to 8 weeks until signs of spring show up. Although I think it's supposed to be like 70 degrees in a couple of days, which I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know how to dress for this very fluctuating weather. I just don't understand what's going on. But anyway, that is the update and I will see you soon. So, fun story. Last night, I went out with a couple of friends and we were just gonna I literally had 2 drinks. And those were the strongest margaritas I've ever had. Ever. I didn't even have full 2 drinks. I had a drink and a half. Strongest drinks ever. I came home, immediately got in the bed. I was like, took off my clothes and I just laid down. And somewhere, that was like around 8 o'clock. Somewhere around like 10, I woke up, still very much tipsy. And my Libby app was like, hey, we're about to take this book from you in a matter of hours. And I said, oh. So I hurried up and I started listening to Madame Bovary. And when I say I finished that at the very, very last minute, I did. They snatched her back immediately. But I finished it. And I don't know what I was expecting. I knew that Emma was a bored housewife and she was looking for whatever to like spice up her life. Great Spice Girls reference. But I didn't expect the lengths that she would go to like do this. So Emma, at this point, Emma is having like this little relationship with Leon. I think she even has a baby. I know she has a baby. She has a baby. She thinks motherhood is going to like change her outlook on things. It doesn't, because she wanted a son and she ends up having a daughter. And she's just like, you know what, this mom thing, it's not for me. It's not for me. She makes Leon think that she does not love him back, even though he loves her. And so he's like, well, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go pursue my lawyering somewhere else and live life. But this is the end. You think that she's just going to give in, try to be a good mom, a good wife, and just live her boring little life. Nope. Miss Mama said, not for me. I want to live the life that I've read about in romance novels and all of these passionate feelings that I don't have with my husband. I thought he was going to give me that because he's a doctor. He has money. But does he? So then she starts this affair with this other dude. This other dude. And he's like, okay, I'm going to have a romance with her too. Now, this guy, serial cheater. He just goes from one mistress to the next, to the next, to the next. And he's just like, he keeps like little letters from all of them as trophies, highlights of the relationships he's had. Sir, what? And Emma, this dumb broad, listen, and no offense to Emma, because we've all had a moment of being a dumb broad. I know I have. But Emma goes out of her way to just give him gifts, and she thinks that he's going to be the end all of everything. Like, he's going to solve all of her problems. They're going to run away together. They're going to take her daughter, run away, start a new life. No. It doesn't happen at all. All she does is end up heartbroken. And the way that he does it, I just want to be like, bro, you deserve a beat down, because why would you do that to her? Why would you lead her on like that? I mean, I know why he led her on like that, because this is what he does. But man, Emma didn't see that coming. So then she gets really upset. She's also in a lot of debt because she has taken out loans with these exorbitant interest rates that she doesn't really understand how money works. She has convinced her husband to let her control the finances so that he doesn't find out that she has been spending money on this other guy. And her husband's like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I let my wife do this? I love her. I trust her. You're also dumb. And so the guy goes, but guess who comes back? Leon. He said, girl, I've always loved you. I've forever loved you. And so they go back and start this relationship all over again. Is this spoiling all the things for you? Maybe. But there's just so much more that happens in between all of this that you're thinking to yourself, how could anything get much worse? And it does. And the way that things end with Emma, I was just like, girl, there had to be another way for sure. This couldn't have been the answer. My flabber was gasted when I finished. And Charles, her husband, shout out to that man, because he loved her down. He had no idea anything was happening, that his wife was sad and hated her life and didn't hate her child, but like hated being a mother. He had no idea. He just thought his wife was just so happy and he wanted to do anything to make her happy. Was not smart, but I will say, I think I'm going to give this like a 3.75, 4 stars. Which is saying a lot, because I don't typically give classics this high of a rating, only because, like I said, classics can get you so bogged down into the details, and you're just like, what does anything have to do with anything? But this did start to bog into some of the details, but like it all circled back very quickly, and you kind of understood the connections between all of the little details that were going on. So I did appreciate it all coming together very quickly. And I feel like it was a fast-moving book. Like, we kept the story going. We didn't, like, go too far into people's backstories. We really kept this forward moving. Fantastic time. So messy. I love a messy classic. And I don't like a messy classic where you have to, like, decipher what the author is trying to tell you about this particular thing. What are the themes? And you have to, like, come up with some bullshit. I want you to tell me the mess, and I want to enjoy it. And I did. I so did. And then I started Finley Donovan is Killing It, and I'm only about 30% of the way in. Maybe not even 25, I don't know. But are we supposed to like Finley? I mean, I don't like her husband, but are we supposed to like Finley? Unclear. And the whole setup is you have to suspend all kinds of belief. And I did. I feel like you have to do that with most cozy mysteries. But I'm not having a bad time. I'm not having a great time. I'm just having a time. I'm trying to see where this is going. She's been hired to take out this man because someone has mistaken her as a hit woman, which I think is funny. But like, she's a disaster as a mom. She's a disaster, period. And I don't know that I like her as just a person. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. That's my last book, actually. And I think I could finish it this weekend. I have a couple of things I need to do. I have like brunch with some friends tomorrow, and then like a birthday thing. But in between that time, I think I could get some in. In fact, Steph is having some Patreon sprints right now, which I'm going to go film. And then I'm going to just read to my heart's little content because Blair is tired of me leaving the house, even though I've only left the house once this week. He's a little needy. But that's my update for right now. I will come back, hopefully done with Finley Donovan or with something very shocking and amazing to talk about. We'll see. I'm back. I did it. I finished. Finley Donovan is killing it. Not that I didn't think that I was going to finish. It was actually touch and go there for a little bit in the beginning because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because Finley was really getting on my nerves. But I finished it and I surprisingly liked it a lot. Like I really wasn't expecting to like this. Of all the books that I had, this one, I don't know that it came out as the top book, but I definitely really had a good time with it. So, you know, we're following Finley. She gets mistaken as a hit woman, but really she's just kind of, I don't even want to say she's a mediocre writer because it implies that she is a mediocre writer, but I don't know. I can't really tell. She's talking with her agent over lunch and somebody mistakes her for being a hit woman because she writes crime fiction. And so she takes on this role of being a hit woman. And at first she's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to check this guy out. And then after a lot of terrible errors and mistakes, things just keep happening to Finley. And I can't say that this was like the best thing ever. Listen, is this believable? Not at all. Not at all. But did I have a good time? Absolutely. I loved Vero, her nanny slash partner in crime. She was just so funny, and I would read more about Vero. I don't know that I like Finley any more than I did at the beginning. She's just kind of a character that is there for me. This is kind of how I felt about Arsenic and Adobo. The main character, Leela, I didn't necessarily like her, but I liked the characters around her more. And unlike that one, I like Finley more than I liked Leela. A lot better. But I would read the next one. I actually am trying to convince Ray to read this just to see if she would like it. I know that for us, cozy mysteries can be very hit or miss. So I would love to see if Ray would like this. Ray, if you're watching, which you probably are watching, thank you. I need you to read this one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give this like a 4.25. I don't know, I feel like that's very generous, and it's freaking me out a little bit because that was not my intent going into this. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna give this a smooth 3.25. And here we are, 4.25. And that's where I'm settling. In fact, I'm very surprised by everything that I've read because I just had a very good time. You guys, listen, you guys picked some very good books. Like this stack right here. You guys, you don't even know what you did, but you did it. And so let's just go run through all of these very quickly. Just talked about Finley Donovan is killing it. The surprise of all surprises. Madame Bovary. This one is Madame Bovary. It's like I never want to touch the book. Madame Bovary, again. Another hit, 3.75, a very messy classic, which I was not expecting. I didn't expect it to end the way that it did, and it took me for a ride. Emma, bored housewife, and decides, hey, I'm gonna have a romantic affair because that'll make me feel better and make my life feel better. Well, you know, things happen. And then we have Mermaid of Black Conch, which was more sad than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be just a cute, maybe not cute, but definitely like a long-lasting love story. And that's not quite what I got from it. It was filled with a lot of sadness, heartbreak, but there was also some really beautiful, tender moments in a blossoming relationship and friendships, rekindling old relationships, and like really talking about the things that went wrong in that relationship. I liked it. And then this one. This is the surprise. This was a surprise, but this one was a surprise. I expected to give this a 3.5 at best. Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, the last book in the Farseer trilogy. I had no intention of going in and feeling something for Fitz. And I don't mean like romantically, I just mean like I felt bad for Fitz. I've always felt bad for Fitz, but I really just like wanted the best for him. And I was really rooting for him in this book. And like everything that I wanted, I was going to say everything I wanted came true, but that's not true because I had no real intentions of what I wanted for Fitz. I just wanted him to stop being so sad and miserable. And I guess maybe that happened. Kind of. I don't know. But these were the books that I read that you guys picked for me. I had such a fun time doing this. I will definitely do this again because you guys are some very good book pickers. Who knew? Who knew? Thank you all for choosing the books that I was going to read. Had a fun time. I hope you had a good time watching this. And what will I pick next? I don't know. The possibilities are possibility. Have you guys read any of these? Are you thinking about reading any of them now that I've talked about them? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, bye.